Okay, I'm standing next to the memorial placed by the Daughters of the American Revolution in 1935 to Abraham Harding, the great-great-great-grandfather of President Harding. His church has a relationship with the ancestors of the Hardings. Welcome to the Clifford Baptist Church, the church of the original settlers of this area. The congregation, originally known as the First Regular Baptist Church of Elk Woods, draws its lineage from 1802 in the First Regular Baptist Church of Clifford. To the best of our knowledge, at 200 years old, this church building is the oldest structure still existing in the township. Today I will focus on my presentation on the church building itself. Next week, in conjunction with the Historical Society, I will be giving presentations on some of the history of the township and the role the First Baptist Church played. In 1800, two of the first settlers, Adam Miller and Amos Harding, built cabins along what is now Creamy Road, close to what was become the intersection of Route 106 and Airport Road. A marker in front of the church that we saw earlier was placed by the Daughters of the American Revolution in 1935 and points to the gravesite of Major Abraham Harding from the American Revolution, who died at the age of 85 in 1806. He was a great-great-great-grandfather of the 29th President of the United States, Warren G. Harding, and is buried with 12 to 18 others in unmarked and unrecognizable graves across the road near the property line with the Horton farm. The original portion of the church, the part of which you are sitting in, is a good example of early to mid-1800s country meeting house construction. This is the section of it. The steeple and vestibule, the science room, and the bathrooms are added much later. I'll go into more detail on that. The meeting house was started in 1826 by Elder Miller, the son of Adam Miller, with a pledge of $19 in cash, labor, and maple sugar. The final cost of the meeting house section was $1,200 and took several years to complete. The logs used to build the original building were cut on the hill on Airport Road that the old timers know as Joe Sweater's. It's up on the hill about half a mile away. When construction began, Jefferson and Adams were still alive. It had a slate roof and rough-hewn flooring. It had a plain facade, balanced symmetrical doors. You notice there's 2 doors in the front, 2 doors in the back. They're perfectly balanced. And the windows are also balanced. Now, there were no glass windows, no stained glass, and just open holes when it was originally done. Shutters were added later. It featured the round Roman arch behind me, and this part of the wall was solid at the time. And there were no pews or pulpit. It said it could hold 400 people. For many years, worship occurred in the Harding barn during the winter because it was warmer than the meeting house. The pulpit and pews were installed in the fall of 1835. That was the year before the Battle of the Alamo. To my left is the Amen corner, where elders of the church would sit, and when the preacher would make a very good point, they would shout, "Amen, brother!" In 1881, the year of the gunfight at the OK Corral in Tombstone, Arizona, work at enlarging and remodeling the meeting house was begun. By the way, that was just 5 years after Custer's last stand in 1876. This church is not a recreation, you are sitting in living history. In 1881, the bell tower and steeple and vestibule were added. Built in a more neoclassic revivalist style with the plain pediment over the entrance, which you can see, this is the pediment right here. And has a more ornate appearance. A lecture room was placed on at the same time. It's now the Sunday school room. The church bell was made in 1880, it's up here. Was made in 1880 by the Troy Bell Foundry, Troy, New York. It weighs over 500 pounds and is made of high quality bronze and costs $169.14, including shipping. Shipping at the time was quoted at 55 cents. Today, the bronze alone is worth almost $10,000. The chandelier is of molded iron and at the time was known as an iron horse. We believe it was manufactured by Bradley and Hubbard in Meridian, Connecticut. Originally, it was used kerosene for its lamps. It was first upgraded in 1905 with gas lamps. When it was originally manufactured, the chandelier had a spring mechanism that would allow an attendant to pull the entire chandelier down, trim the wicks, refill, and clean the chimney on a daily basis. When it was changed to a gas lamp system and no longer needed daily maintenance, the spring system was removed. It's currently held up by a chain thrown over a rafter and nailed to a box of fieldstone. I'm sure it's perfectly safe, but my family sits over here. The chandelier in the entire church was electrified for the Christmas service of 1926. The basement was dug out in 1927 by hand. It was difficult. It was done with the help of a horse-drawn excavator. It was difficult because we're sitting on a stone ledge, and it took them a lot of time to get. The stained glass windows were added in 1933. You will notice that the windows are in a neo-Gothic style, popular at the time. Sharp arches, stylized candles and flames, set in the original meeting house window frames. In the center of each window is a lithograph which images depicting various aspects of biblical teaching. In full disclosure, I must state that we do not have anything in writing about what was on people's minds when they commissioned the stained glass. However, I've researched common symbolism. I think they are pretty accurate. I'll begin with the anchor in the vestibule. The ship's anchor gives it stability in the midst of a storm, in the same way that the church stands steadfast in the storm, giving hope to those who rest in it. We reference Hebrews 6:19. We have this hope as an anchor for the soul. And additionally, the anchor symbolizes the cross, similar to the fish symbolizing Christianity was used to avoid detection and was placed on tombs of Christians in early Rome. This window was dedicated to Jack Race and his wife in April 2015 for their devoted service to this church and the nation. Jack was a stabilizing force in this church and calmed many of the storms that rise up in any organization. In the Sunday school room, there is a window dedicated to Dr. Sidney Rivenberg. In its center is a lithograph of a narcissus flower. In the Greek mythology, Narcissus, upon seeing his reflection in a pool of water, is so in love with his own image, he stares at it until he dies of thirst, even though the pool of water was within reach, thus demonstrating destructive self-centeredness. Christianity, on the other hand, uses the Narcissus in the opposite way. It is a symbol of selflessness. This is why it was selected for Dr. Rivenberg. He was ordained at this church in 1883 and was a missionary to Northeast India. He returned to Clifford in 1923 and retired. However, he remained active in the church, including serving as a pastor until his death in 1936. To the left of the stained glass, you will see a Naga spear from the grateful Agami tribe from the Kohima, Assam, India, together with a picture of Dr. View Minyu, the grandson of the first convert of Dr. Rivenberg in 1887. As he spoke to our congregation in 1922 and thereby completing the circle. Dr. Rivenberg was ordained here, he preached here, he went to India and converted the locals, and the grandson of his convert came and preached at his same pulpit. By the way, the Agami people were not Hindus or Muslims he converted, they were headhunters and cannibals. Okay. Probably the most important, especially in wintertime, in 1952, indoor plumbing was added to the church and the outhouses were torn down. As with any old building, in subsequent years, changes have been made. The outer doors to the vestibule were replaced with modern doors. Fortunately, I know where the doors are, and someday I will pry them from the current owner's hands and bring them back to the church. The Iron Horse chandelier was originally black and was painted gold in the 1980s. In May of 2023, the church received a sum of money due to the death of a member, and with that, we had the old storm windows removed from the stained glass cleaned, and the lead repaired, and new storm windows put in place. They will be lasted for the 300th anniversary of this church. I've opened up some overhead panels in the basement of the church if you're interested in seeing the timber that were used for the construction. In closing, I want to thank you for attending and give you an invitation. If you're looking for a Christ-centered, Bible-teaching church that will give you a friendly family welcome, support your spiritual needs, and give you purpose through helping others throughout the year, and as can be seen in the vestibule, we collect food and monetary donations for the Susquehanna County Rehab Program through our May 19th program. We donate to the summer lunch program, back to the school backpack program, fall coat drive, and donate 10% of tithes and offerings monthly to Abgopad missions. We are small but very active in serving God's people. As it says in James 2:18, I will show you my faith by my works. Please feel free to come back on Sunday at 10 a.m. We would love to see you. The Clifford Baptist Church has been in existence. Actually, the congregation, as I mentioned before, goes back to 1802. Currently configured, we were in 1817. We've actually conducted services every Sunday since that date. During COVID, when the mandatory shutdown, I came over and opened up the church, and people came on their own and sat and worshiped on their own, and then at the end of a couple hours, I came back and closed the church. But the church was open every Sunday since it was originally built in 200 years ago.